Film photography is expensive, and it's only getting worse.
Nice.
But what if I told you there's a $5 camera out there with $5 film to go with it? Have I cracked the code? Is this Five Below camera a game changer, or does it suck the fart out of an ass? Let's find out together.
That was really bad.
First things first, this is probably for my precious little eggies who are across the pond. Five Below is a sort of bargain variety store in America. The whole idea is everything is $5 or less. Or in this case, $5.25. I'm no math expert, but that is not below $5. I guess inflation truly do be hitting hard. Five Below is known for selling a bunch of crap, but they recently added this reusable point-and-shoot camera to their catalog. Interestingly enough, their camera takes 5mm film.
What the hell is even that?
That is surely a typo. It's even listed as 35mm film on the 35mm film packaging. And here's a real head scratcher. That film has a focal length of 28mm and an aperture of f8.
What?
Did I mention this was made in China?
I am shocked. Shocked!
They say the best camera is the one you have with you, but frankly, Five Below is out here trying to fact check that claim. This camera is straight up shit. Predictably, the photos from this camera are
not good.
A lot of reviews will talk about how the corners of a photo get soft. Well, imagine if the entire image was a corner. That's what we're working with here. So yeah, these photos are pretty jacked up unless the whole out of focus thing is your aesthetic. I'm not judging. It's just stupid. Here's a quick comparison just for your reference. This is a photo from the Five Below camera, and this is from a $20 disposable Kodak camera. Again, you're meant to throw that camera in the garbage when you're done with it. Here's a Pikachu branded camera that was out of a cereal box that I bought for $5. Just because a camera is cheap doesn't imply that it's dog shit, but in the case of the Five Below camera, it's definitely dog shit. For those of you watching this video who may be completely new to the film process, here's a quick overview. You load your film into the camera and then you shoot the roll. Rewind the film back into the cassette and either send it off to a photo lab for developing, or you can develop the film yourself. I have a video about that, I'll link it in the description below. Then the lab will send you digital scans of your film, or if you went the DIY route, you scan it yourself and you're ready to share your photos. If you are brave enough to test out this camera, here are a few tips to make the most out of it. First off, film loves light. You need to use this camera on the brightest of days. Even slightly overcast skies will give you poor results. If you use this camera indoors, you are going to get really dark, really underexposed, unusable photos. The instructions recommend that you keep 5 meters or 16 feet between you and your subject for best results. But in my experience, it didn't matter because literally nothing was in focus. I think the best piece of advice I could give you would be to avoid this camera. Five Below film. What is it? Is it a good deal? Does it look good? Well, I'm not really sure what film it is, but my assumption is Kentmere. If you are a real 35mm film detective though, let me know in the comments below if you figure out what this film is. Is it a good deal?
No.
These are only 10 exposure rolls, and if it is in fact Kentmere, you can get a 36 exposure roll for $5. Does it look good? Certainly not through the Five Below camera. I did shoot a roll through my Nikon FM because I hate myself, and yeah, it's fine. It looks fine. I've only shot 3 rolls of the Five Below film, but 2 of those 3 rolls have had some problems. I actually saved this little snipping here just to show you how many scratches were on the surface of the film. It's almost like it was loaded into the cassette without any sort of care.
Damn it, how could this have happened?
One of my rolls had a splotchy line across every single photo, like every one of them. It didn't happen on any other roll, and I developed them all at the same time, so I don't think it was my fault. What, may I ask, is this line? Did they bulk load these rolls in a sewer? I literally wasted a roll of Fuji Superior 400 in this camera to give Five Below the benefit of the doubt. Why? Why did I do that? Why? The camera does allow you to use 36 exposure rolls. You can wind through the whole thing. The thumb advance wheel is absolutely terrible though. You really have to yeet it to advance your film to the next frame. It actually did chew up the first roll of film I shot through this camera. But this is the perfect segue to get into the ease of use and ergonomics of this camera. The short version is it's bad. The camera is dead simple. You have your shutter release button, the viewfinder, the lens, and the winder. That's literally it. The viewfinder is just awful. It's repugnant, it's putrid, it's migraine-inducing bullshit. That was really eloquent for like 2 seconds. But it really is such a wildly unpleasant experience. It's kinda like... The viewfinder is not the only cheap piece of plastic on this camera. The entire camera is plastic. And it's that really cheap kind of plastic that has a weird odor to it, and when you're handling it, you're kind of thinking to yourself, am I gonna get some kind of disease? You can't modify any of your settings. It's very similar to a disposable in that regard. And I think it's safe to assume that the whole uses 5mm thing is actually the reference to the lens on the camera. If that truly is the case, a 28mm f8 lens should put most of your scene in focus. You know, if it was an actual camera. Which it isn't. Maybe this camera's like me, it's super nearsighted, because weirdly these photos kind of look like what I see when I don't have my glasses on. Alright, I gotta say something positive here, something positive to say. The packaging boasts that the camera is easy to carry. I guess that's true. Anything that makes film more accessible to people is a good thing in my opinion, but this might be it. This might be the worst film camera I've ever used. This thing is an abomination. It should be as taboo as human transmutation. I cannot stress this enough. If you're looking to get into film photography, don't buy this. This is a complete waste of your time and you're gonna get frustrated in the process. You're not gonna get good results. It's gonna sour the whole experience for you. If you're just starting out with film, honestly, you'd be so much better just going to Goodwill or a thrift shop and buying literally anything. Literally any camera would probably be better than this one. To me, this is a great joke gift to give your photographer friends to make them suffer a little. If you're a photographer with a good sense of humor, it's definitely worth taking this turd for a spin. But I've wasted far too much time and money on this camera. Wasted rolls of film, chemistry, scanning time, and I made this video. It's time to return you from whence you came, foul beast. Smash that subscribe button to make up for all the time I wasted. I'll see you soon. Mwah. Goodbye.
Like and subscribe. Sweet Loop Photography. Domain.